Dave, mate, what are you doing, my friend? What are you doing, Moisey, man? Jeez, you say you got no regrets about that lineup, and yet West Ham lost that game 1-0 because you set up the team wrong and did nothing about it until 60 minutes. Why is it that West Ham are so reactive and not proactive? West Ham are still reactive and not proactive. That's the bottom line of why West Ham lost this game. Set up badly, set out all out to defend, and then when Man United score, West Ham change it all up. If West Ham want to strengthen that European push, they've got to beat teams around them like Man United, Leicester and Chelsea. The latter of those two we've got to play soon. And also get points on the board, as many as they can, with very little left of the season to go. After today's performance, there is rightful cause for concern, and things need to change in that lineup. It has ended. Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0 at Old Trafford. West Ham lose by a narrow scoreline, with Craig Dawson's own goal being the difference between the win and the loss. West Ham take no points from this game, and in all honesty, it's a deserved loss for the Hammers. I watched that game and I couldn't understand many things. I didn't understand why West Ham went all out defensive, as I alluded to in the introduction. I didn't understand why Ben Rama was dropped when he could have added a little bit more creativity into the team. Jarrod Bowen is going to get signalled out in this video for his performance today. And West Ham need to learn to not just stick with one plan, just the one plan, and have that for the rest of the game and hoping that it pays off. You have to adapt to different situations in different games. So when West Ham conceded a goal, they started to change things up. The problem with that was it was on 60 minutes and time was running out. West Ham made a few changes to the team. There were 3 changes. Darren Randolph and Pablo Fornals weren't playing in this because of injury protocol. So Mark Noble started in the midfield. West Ham played 5 at the back with Ben Johnson coming into the team. As I said earlier, Ben Rama was dropped to the bench. Jarrod Bowen started. I had that feeling of the Brighton game earlier in the season when West Ham played Brighton and went all out defensive against them and ended up taking a draw, but all the fans being dissatisfied with the result. This had the same kind of vibe to it. West Ham were going all out defensive against a Man United team that's had a busy schedule and is probably quite worn down, yet United had their attacking options out there. Rashford started, much to my surprise. I thought that he was injured. Dean Henderson still started in goal because David De Gea is away with his partner, who's just given birth. There was a suggestion that Amad Diallo would start in this game, but he didn't. West Ham made a whole change to the formation, changed to personnel in the starting lineup, and from the outside, you could look at that and you could tell that West Ham were going to just defend and park the bus for the whole game. And in the first half, that did show. And it was incredibly boring and, even more to the point, a bit lackluster to watch. I did not really enjoy that first half performance because of the lack of productivity on West Ham's end. But I'll talk about that more right now and get into more detail. West Ham weren't defensively bad in that first half. It was 0-0 going into half-time, and through those 45 minutes, West Ham did its basic defending job. Diop blocked a few crosses from going in, tried to counter-attack the other way and pass to another player in the midfield. Dawson made a solid tackle to get the ball back. Cresswell was in the box heading away. Johnson was doing alright. Sofal was doing okay. The back 5 wasn't doing too bad. Even Lucas Fabianski did really well to deny Mason Greenwood from close range and came out and got his fingertips on a one-on-one situation, which was a really good save. But goalkeeper and defender were doing all right so far. Mark Noble was slowing down that midfield because having him in there was slow and not very creative. Ben Rama and Lingard have played in that midfield and they've added some flair and some catalytic element into the attack. I don't think Noble really has that in him anymore, and he didn't have it in this game. The only other player that I think was rival to being just as poor as Noble, if you're talking about contribution, was Jarrod Bowen. He's not been starting because he's not been playing very well when he has started over the last few months. Bowen has been bad off the ball. He's been bad when he's on the ball. The only two things that I can remember Jarrod Bowen doing in that first half were going down when he got hurt. He went down twice and looked like he was injured, but he got back up and carried on. Bowen did absolutely nothing throughout this whole game. Absolutely nothing in that first half even. And I don't know why he wasn't substituted at half-time. Bowen was so quiet that it took those two injuries and him going down for me to actually notice that he was playing in the game. And that's no disrespect to him. That's just because he wasn't doing much to actually graft. United's crossing was good. I mean, Rashford got into a position to head the ball and had it off target. United knew where the players were going to be. Well, their players, should I say, were going to be in the box. West Ham, just like I say, and I'll say it again, defended. Diop was not good in the box when it came to clearing it away. He was frantic and just getting it out to any old place. That was a shame because Diop had started off the game really well with some good tackles and some good marking, but his ability in the box wasn't good. And it remained very fluctuating throughout the rest of the game, but mainly fluctuating down towards the average to below mark in terms of his overall performance. United did try to dominate in that first half. West Ham just stayed grounded and stopped United from getting through. Was a close call when Greenwood forced Fabianski into a save, but it was 0-0 at half-time. And I mean, there are many times when I do these videos when I say that I'm satisfied with it being 0-0 at half-time, and because United was the opposition, I was alright with it being 0-0 at half-time. Going out and defending was good. I wouldn't say amazing, but it was good. Still 0-0 and West Ham had a shout in it. But half-time was the chance for Moisey to make some changes. It was a chance for David Moyes to change things up a little bit. And that's when he should have brought on Saïd Benrahma and taken off Jarrod Bowen. Because Bowen was virtually non-existent in the first half. What did he do, apart from go down twice? Nothing. Benrahma, Lanzini needed to come on in the second half, or more actually, no, to start the second half they should have come on. They should have come on at the start of the second half, because like I say, half-time's the chance to regroup, it's the chance to change up your tactics. Moyes had the chance and didn't take it. He just decided to set out defensive again for the second half, and it did not pay off, and what happened afterwards kind of confirms something I've said earlier. United pass the ball through the box. Sofal tips it away with the edge of his toe. He could have had an own goal there, but the ball diverted wide. United's subsequent corner comes in. Harry Maguire gets his fat noggin on it, but it actually turned out that it came off of Craig Dawson. Shame, because Craig Dawson's good at heading the ball, but he's not supposed to head it into his own net. You know, and it was then 1-0 Man United. And that is only when West Ham realised, oh, now what? And the manager was probably thinking, now what? Your team's 0-0 at half-time and has been very defensive and has no attack and no creativity. At half-time, anyone else would have probably thought, let's stick on an attacker or two to start that second half and maybe add a little bit more tempo, maybe add a little bit more oomph about us. But no, West Ham chose to go defensive still, and it was a gamble that clearly did not pay off. So when your team's now 1-0 down, the team being West Ham, when West Ham are going 1-0 down now, they then have a shock to their system because they don't know what to do. There doesn't seem to be a plan B at this point. And the manager is thinking about making changes. And yeah, he does it. He readies Saïd Benrahma and Manuel Lanzini. But he should have done that at half-time instead of waiting for West Ham to go 1-0 down. Bruno Fernandes tested Lucas Fabianski. Fabianski made another big save to punch the ball away. But it was the same old from West Ham. Still defence, still trying to stop Man United from making it 2-0 instead of trying to go on for the equaliser. And even when West Ham put the crosses in, they were off target. I mean, Bowen headed off target. He was offside anyway. Souček kind of came close, but was deflected away. Well, why am I even talking about chances? West Ham didn't really have a shot on target. Did they even record a shot on target in this game? Because I don't remember them doing it. But on about 61, 62 minutes, Moyes finally makes the change. He takes off Ben Johnson and Mark Noble and puts on Saïd Benrahma and Manuel Lanzini, and should have done that way, way earlier. Why wasn't Bowen off? I would have personally taken off Bowen and put Benrahma on that wing. Why was Bowen allowed to stay on when he was still doing nothing? When the ball was at his feet, he was a little hesitant with it. Yeah, he made a little run, but his crossing wasn't good. Antonio was a bit isolated up top, even though he had some physical strength and made a semi-run, still quite isolated up top. Because Johnson had come off, West Ham went to 4-1-4-1, if you could even say that. Was it 4... Yeah, so the four at the back, Rice as the sole defensive mid, Souček and Benrahma as like the centre mids there, Lanzini and Bowen on the wing and Antonio up top on his own. Still didn't really work, and it was, in my opinion, too late to change anything at this point, because Man United hit the post with Mason Greenwood, who had a perfect goal-scoring opportunity and blew it. I just... You know what, I'm at a bit of a loss for words how to describe this. I just think that West Ham reaped what they sowed and lost the game because of bad tactical and management. Yeah. Struggle to find the words to talk about that because I'm a little annoyed as I talk about it. It's just... These are the kind of teams that West Ham need to beat if they really want to get into Europe. Everyone kind of knows that. Everyone would agree with that. I just want West Ham to be a bit more proactive than reactive, because the team's still reactive. It only really gets going once something bad happens. The Leeds game on Monday, we weren't happy with that performance, and it was because West Ham were partly reactive. It took 2 disallowed goals in the opening 10 minutes for West Ham to kick it up a notch and actually get their asses into gear. It's been the same thing with other games this season, like the Brighton game with the 2-2, going 1-0 down, and then starting to realise that we're stuffed a little bit here. Other games, I don't know, like... even, you could say, the Spurs game with the 3-3 draw was a little bit reactionary. Yeah, that was a great comeback, but it was reactionary because West Ham had to concede 3 goals in order to fight back. If you concede a goal, it makes it harder for your team, really. Yeah, it makes it harder on the team who score because they've got to maintain the lead, but you've got to get back into this and score 2 more goals at least in order to win at that point. West Ham seemed to want to settle for just the draw if they were going to change to a 4-1-4-1 and do nothing about it until there was a third left in the game. There's no point in that. You have to be reactive. Well, no. You have to be proactive. Proactive if you want to get results, especially in a league like the Premier League. David Moyes has been fantastic this season as West Ham manager. Yes, you praise him when he's done really well, but you have to criticise him when he gets it wrong. And today, he should have put up his hands and admit, I got that wrong, rather than saying that he was satisfied with the team lineup. He definitely got it wrong today. His plan just to sit back and stop Man United at all costs and go for a 0-0 draw didn't work. The game was boring and felt like it was heading to a 0-0 draw. But when Man United scored, West Ham's core was rattled and the team looked for an immediate response, or even a response within the last third of the game, just to get by. And that can't happen anymore. We've got Arsenal up next in the league. We've got a week now to prepare for that, get some players back training, and also discuss what we need to do in order to win games again. Moyes needs to learn his lessons. It's not a case of losing with dignity. It's a case of learning from these mistakes, which you're allowed to make, by the way, because everyone makes them. Managers make them, players make them. It's part of life. But you have to learn from those mistakes. Because I don't want to have to keep doing videos where I'm getting on the manager and players' backs because they're not learning and they're still doing the same errors. I don't want to keep on doing it. Today was a mistake, largely. We need to bounce back. Thank you very much for watching the aftermath. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. The Mark Noble over to you that I did on Facebook, I promise that I'll get it up next week. I haven't had time to do it this week because I've been quite busy. But I'll be doing that, an off the press video, an opposition uncovered for the Arsenal game. Thank you very much for watching this. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.